All right, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Stage Diving with Scotty. My guests today are, okay, I'm going to say this wrong, I know I am. Chancla Fight Club?
That's close.
Close.
You're
Chancla
close,
Fight
yeah.
Club.
So what is it?
Chancla Fight Club.
Chancla, doggone it. And with them is their manager, Felix. Thank you for joining us, Felix.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wait, do you guys not see each other very often? I feel like I'm seeing more photos of you guys playing live. Is that recent or is that kind of older stuff?
That's recent. We actually just formed this crew within the last 5 months. So that's all pretty recent stuff.
How many of you played since sort of the shutdown and stuff?
We're on number 4 coming up, I think.
Nice.
5.
5, yeah, wow.
Well,
So that was the first time back since the pandemic for me anyway.
Yeah,
well, so
same for me.
how many? How much space in between? Has it just been like a couple of months or a couple of weeks, or for in between shows? I'm sorry.
We usually do a once a month.
Oh, once a month. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we've been doing lately. We had one, I think, in November, one December, and one right now in January we just had.
Oh, that's a good split.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I think this is gonna be our 4th one. Are you? I thought we played another one. That must have been it.
I really don't remember. They're too fun. They're honestly too fun. I get on and then I get off and I'm like, what happened all the time in between?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, dude, you just like black out. Like it's all gone.
It's that whole anticipation to that point, and then being in the moment, and then before you know it, you're just off stage and going, "Holy crap, we've played a full set."
Yeah, exactly. It's like
and
you'll be
exactly.
in the middle of, like,
Talking
the
to
second
you, and
song,
you're like-
and it's like, how did I even get here?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
How was the vibe? Was it in Texas? The shows?
They all have been. We did our first show back was in McAllen. So we're from Austin, Texas.
Yes. Okay.
But our first show back was McAllen, which is like 4 or 5 hours away or something.
It's like 5.5
Something like that.
hours south.
Oh,
It's
really?
right on the border. Yeah, it's right off on the border with Mexico, close to where I guess like Brownsville and like I guess a lot of people would know like Starbase, where Elon Musk is doing his stuff down there.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Well, then, I hate to like go from the beginning, but I mean, I'm very curious myself. Like, how did this? Well, hold on. I'm sure you guys get tons of what Tyler Durden references and Chuck Palahniuk references all the time, and going, was it the movie? Was it the story? What was it, or where did you get the name from?
So the name came from. So I had this is a new lineup. I've had Chancla Fight Club since 2017. That's a whole other story.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, with my old lineup, I wanted to name it after Chiodo's lyrics. They did not like that. And then another guy wanted to name it because I look like the girl from the Game of Thrones, so he wanted to name it something after that. And
oh, okay.
yeah, I didn't want to do that. And we just debated for so long about it. And I managed another band. They're called Islands of Pear. And I just wrote in the group chat, like, what should I name my band, guys? Like, I'm really struggling. And the drummer said, Chancla Fight Club. And I was like, all right, that's it. We'll do that. I was just so exhausted and like done with like the back and forth about what are we going to name the band. And so I was like, okay, that's it. And I'm glad we went with it because it's awesome. Everyone seems to love it. It's a fun name. Yeah,
and your merch now. I've just seen some of your merch recently, and I really dig your shirts and the design. I like that a lot. It's very cool.
Carlos is our guy on that.
Oh, really? Nice. It looks great. It really looks great. Yeah, no, and I think that's what's so fun is when you get the people involved and stuff, and you want them to, whether it just be sharing or reposting or whatever. It's so much fun now to kind of interact with everybody and your fans and sharing. It's amazing to me how much by word of mouth things are just blowing up nowadays than it seems like way beforehand. You know, I don't know if it's been like that for you guys or not. Has it been that way?
I definitely think so. Ash, you can answer this one.
What? Go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, I was gonna say, coming from all of our backgrounds, we kind of all just have like Ashley would quote unquote call guerrilla marketing styles in the way that we are able to get stuff done on the ground just by ourselves, very DIY. I think it's just because we all collectively have a lot of knowledge in just being in the scene and being in different bands a couple of different times, and it not being our first rodeo in per se.
Yeah, but I mean, it has to be a little bit different. I mean, how long have you been in? All of you guys, have you been in bands before? How many bands and stuff? Was it been a couple of years? Was it long time ago? Or I mean, I don't know how young you guys are.
I've probably been playing in bands since I was like 16. I'm 29 now, so that's a pretty long time, I feel.
Yeah. And what a difference in genres and different of.
I've played Mexican music to country music to hardcore to pop punk and everything in between, honestly.
Wow, man, that's your bass riffs are ridiculous, by the way. Just a heads up. I don't know. Was that you? Is that you on the recording?
No, it's not. I wish I could take credit
oh my
for
gosh.
that. I totally wish. It took me forever to learn those bass riffs.
Oh, really?
Live.
Okay.
You could ask these guys. I would complain about it for like 2 weeks. I was like, this is some hard bass riffs. And nowadays I'm just sitting there like throughout my day just playing them in my head. I'm like, this is like the funnest bass riff.
Dude, that's very. So wait, so so Ashley, you said, okay, hold on, Felix. I'm gonna get you, Felix. I promise.
Oh, okay.
We're coming full circle.
So you said this is a new lineup. So how many lineups of the band have you had?
So this is now my third lineup. Yes, yeah. I had a full lineup here in Austin, and that's when we came up with the name and all that jazz. And then I was dealing with some stuff and I moved. Okay. And then everyone else moved. Everyone that was in my band moved. So I started it again in Houston. And then I moved during the pandemic. And then I brought it. Now it's here again. So I'm not planning on moving anytime soon, though. So I think that we're.
I think we all recently moved to Austin during the pandemic.
Yeah, it's definitely been the last little bit. I mean, I know I've been here for like 7 months now. Like I thought the coast was kind of clear. I moved from the Northeast and I was like, here we go. Like COVID's mostly over. This will be sick. And then it's not. So.
So Felix, do you live in Texas?
I do. I live in Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then how did you come into play with the band?
So I moved over here fairly recently, within the last, well, it's been a year now. I moved Winter Storm last year. So that was my inauguration into Austin. And
warm welcome.
Yeah, a warm welcome. And I met the band halfway into my stay around here. And yeah, we just hit it. It was right after actually their first performance in that 5-hour Central Texas place.
Okay.
I was there for that mission, but shortly after, met the band and joined the team, and so I'm happy to be here, happy to be representing them, and
nice.
Excited for the terror that we're gonna bring upon Austin in a good way, good terror.
Yeah. No, that's great. It's fun having a manager and especially with someone that knows what they're doing. You know, that's always a bonus. But I think that so what was the appeal? Was it just because was it a personal thing at first, like there was a good connection there, or was it really the music that kind of drew you in?
Well, it was a personal thing at first. I met Ashley through some good mutual friends, and they said that we should meet. And when I actually heard the music and then actually met the newer part of the band, I mean, I was over the moon. I'm actually originally from California as well.
Oh, okay.
The southern part of it. So coming to Texas and moving out here was one thing, but then kind of running into my dream to be a manager and to be a manager of something so cool. The pandemic is kind of what brought me here, and now the sky's the limit. So I'm glad it did.
Very cool. And so do you manage more than one band then?
I manage other acts. So I'm a creative manager. I manage art and music and but this is my only band. It's gonna be my only band because
okay.
Are
they a little too much to handle?
we got a lot of work to do. We are gonna take over, and so that requires a lot of focus and a lot of energy. So not taking on too much, being able to get a success, and then we'll see from there when we have our number one record on the chart. We'll see what happens after that.
Yes, and that's what's so cool. I gotta tell you, when I first heard the band, I was sitting there going, wow, vocals are smooth. I said, and I'm going, there's so much here you can hear so much influence of different genres. And that's what's fun for me is I hate earlier on when I first started this show, I had such a hard time. I call it the Scotty blender, where I would be like, I'd give examples of bands that remind me of what this mix is. Since I don't know genres and subgenres and subgenres and stuff, especially with metal, I'm a mess. But and it's so frustrating. But what's so cool is with you guys, it was so interesting to hear. It's almost like emo meets Circa Survive meets oh my gosh, I don't know who else like you guys really can compare with. Almost like older alt rock with new, like with a modern like feel, if that makes sense. It really is a blender.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're going for.
well, you got it.
Yeah, as soon as you said Circa Survive, Ashley was over the moon. That's all.
Just like, oh my god.
Yeah. That's all it took.
There you go. You can feel it.
Favorite.
Oh man, you could absolutely feel it. I'm sure you're friends with Anthony Green and stuff, or follow him and that kind of stuff, right?
Follow him, yeah. I love him. He's awesome.
Has he winked at you or anything? Kind of gives a little notice of like, hey, I know.
No,
not yet, right?
I would love for him to hear my music. That would be cool.
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah.
We definitely both fangirl over like Anthony Green and Circa Survive.
Yes, yeah, he's incredible.
Well, man, he was little did I know until I first found them out, and this was only maybe 8 years ago, maybe a little longer. When I heard him, I'm like, that's a unique voice. That's a really unique voice.
Yes,
it's very interesting, rock, emo, whatever you want to call it. It's so weird to say emo because that's also a weird mixture of old school, new school, whatever. But then I saw that he was influenced by Jeremy Enoch and Sunny Day Real Estate, and to me, that's my favorite because I have a Jeremy Enoch over there. I got Sunny Day's tattoos on my back and on my arm.
I'm a huge Nate Mendel fan. I got you.
Hey, dude, there we go.
Yeah.
Excellent. So when I heard that, I was like, this is really unique. He's really unique. The band's really unique, and so again, when I heard you, I just like this feels very. It has that similar. You can hear influence, I should say. I wouldn't say you sound like them, but you hear the influence, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I was blown away. So, and then I didn't realize till today, because it's like, okay, I want to follow you guys on everything. I know you were on Twitter, and I didn't know you were on Bandcamp and had Santa Baby on there. And I was like, oh my God, I got to listen to this. And I loved it. It was so great. And again, it had a mixture of kind of a little bit of styles. It was great. Whose idea was that?
That was our producer's idea. His name's Nico Zoric.
Did you have fun doing it? It sounded like you guys had a great. It really just sounds like a fun song. It really sounded great.
Yes, so much fun. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
Well, then, do you guys have more in the bank, so to speak, as far as like new songs, more studio time? What's happening now? Or are you guys just focusing on live shows for right now?
So we definitely have like a pipeline of things that are coming out. I think be ready next month for a specific holiday. We're not going to name drop any holidays. We might be releasing we might be releasing a song that might go with that holiday, and we might be releasing some limited edition merch that might be going with that too.
Really nice. I like that. Cool. And now, what has the responses been from? I mean, obviously, you've been doing the band for a while. So has it been like a really good, slow, good build in as far as like social followings and then the response live? Or has it always just kind of been a good, big chunk of following? Does that make sense? I don't know if I worded that correctly.
Yes, no, that makes sense. And I think I've said this probably to all of them, like, it makes no sense to me what's happening now. Because I have been doing the band since 2017 with a break, of course, and just now things are starting to take off. And it could be, back then when I was doing it, I was not doing too good, and now I'm I'm sober and I work full time in marketing, so I kind of know how the Instagram algorithms work, and I know different things now that I didn't know back then.
Yeah.
So I think that's a part of it, but I think that it's this crew. I think it's our live energy. Whenever we're playing live, the response has been crazy, and I think that's really what the appeal is and what the difference, or why maybe we weren't making as much of an impact back then as we are now.
True.
I think it's the how we are when we're live now.
Wow. And yeah, what a difference that makes for even just a fan. Because when you see a band live, boy, does it just energize you to go just buy everything.
Yeah, it makes all the difference. Because it's like I've done that too, where it's like I've been a fan of bands for like 3-4 years, and then you finally catch them live at like some quick set, like, you know, in like a dive bar or something, and you're like, what the hell? Like, this is a whole new thing. And then it just reignites that flame. Like, you want to buy all the merch they have, like download every song.
Exactly.
It's a whole new thing. It's
really
really
and
cool.
You blast the songs like they're in your car now.
Just like the first time again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then Cole, when did you so any other original members of the band, or besides just Ashley?
She's the only one.
She's the only one?
She's the only one.
So then Cole, did you have a hard time with the guitar stuff like Carlos did with the bass stuff?
Yeah, so it definitely for sure took a minute.
Don't even.
Luckily, I'm fairly used to trying to figure out stuff by ear. Like, that's a big part of what I contribute to even how I even know how to play guitar. So it was just listening to songs on repeat over and over with my guitar in my hand right at this desk, just like trying to figure out like what the hell is going on. A lot of parts with a lot of like delay and like complex rhythmic stuff, and like trying to figure out that it's like, you know, it's one thing to try to figure out a dry guitar part that has maybe a little distortion. Once you throw like these crazy delays and reverbs that this other dude wrote, it's like I gotta figure out like what effects he's running also. So it's like it's a whole new layer to trying to figure out a guitar part, and there's no tabs, so like you know, it's just sink or swim. Like, you just gotta figure it out. But
did you ever actually get a hold of the other guy to say, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I was gonna say I hit him up one time. There was a solo, I think, on one of the songs that I was like, what the hell did you do? Like, what is this? And he's like, oh man, it's super easy. Like, you wrote out this like super quick like little tab. It had like maybe like 10 notes on it, and I was like, all right. He's like, just set your delay for this, and that's all you play. I was like, all right, cool, man.
That, to me, timing is so hard for me. If there's anything other than like 4/4.
Yeah, well, so that's the thing is, it's like a lot of the delays they use are dotted eighth stuff. So like, luckily the delay pedal that I have has a tap tempo on it. So like, whenever we start, you know, the drummer kicks off and I can just lock in with him. If I didn't have that, I'd be screwed because it's like you can't be playing with dials to try to set that, you know?
Yeah.
Shout out to Walrus Audio.
Yeah.
So are you guys sponsored by anybody?
I wish.
We hope.
Me and Carlos are huge
so.
like pedal and gear nerds. So the first, you know, first company that recognizes us and wants to sponsor us, I'm sure me and him will jump right at that.
We have huge pedal boards and we love pedals. I think we have probably like an excess of like 30 plus extra pedals.
Yeah, I mean, right next to me, there's probably like 15 sitting there. Then I have some that are on this little shelf.
I got some downstairs next to me or all around the house. Just
what? You guys must be friends with like pedal makers and stuff.
To be fair, we did not say that Cole makes pedals, and I know a bunch of pedal makers that have made me a couple pedals in the past.
Yeah, so we can do a bit of crossover stuff, which is nice.
Holy cow. That's a heck of a hookup right there. My God. No, I don't have anybody. I mean, but I know a bunch of people who do, but I know they wouldn't hook me up. But I mean, that's so cool. I'm like, you made I could test this thing out? Yeah, sure. Woo-hoo. All right. But no.
We're also gear junkies because we work at a Guitar Center, so we get the hella hookup on that discount.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So it's like the dumbest discount in the game. So it's like we're just buying gear on a weekly basis. It's really bad.
Yeah, you got a Howard Stern set up over there, Cole. I'm surprised, man.
This is probably all due to that discount, actually.
The last 3 shows, I've showed up with 3 new basses and 3 new bass amps. I feel
insane.
I think
and practice too. You show up.
Actually, just like I got the mic. I'm good.
Yeah, she couldn't care less. She doesn't give a shit. As soon as me and Carlos start going off about gear, it's like she just mutes. Like,
we're trying to get her on a pedal board. We're trying to get her pedal board friendly.
You don't use any effects, do you? You don't use any effects, do you, Ashley?
I do live. I do. I play flute also and the omnichord, but that hasn't released yet. Those songs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I play. Huh?
The next song. The
next song will have the omnichord and the flute in it. But I do use vocal effects live, and I play my flute into the vocal processor to like have effects on my flute too. So
that's cool. Wow, man.
Yeah.
You bring so much to just the sound. Oh my lord! Now I'm really curious to see how the new song's gonna sound. Wow.
So a lot of it for me too, like with the gear stuff, is it's like, especially it's cool to be able to like make a song in studio recording and do like, you know, double tracking and all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But the more like the recording you can make the live part sound, and bring all of that extra stuff to the table, to me is really interesting. So if a song has some like crazy reverb sounds or things like that, and you show up live and you're kind of just plinking around, to me, if I'm on stage watching that band, I'm like, this isn't the same thing. Like, I don't know, it's not as cool. I think it's a lot more interesting for the audience and for me, honestly, as a guitar player, to be able to kick around on a bunch of pedals and, you know, make my guitar not really sound like a guitar.
Yeah, no. It's really interesting when you hear bands in interviews or reading whatever that they're doing, and they go, well, now, you know, yeah, we did this album, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, now we got to figure out how the hell we're going to do this sound live.
It's like the afterthought where it's like, oh shit, now we have to play this.
It was fun for us because we had to figure out what other people wanted to use or what other people used on recording for us to play live. So that was like
exactly like you said, there was no like gear roadmap like, oh, you need these things. It's just like, here's the sound, figure it out.
yeah.
Well, the funny thing about it too is these songs, specifically the two that we have out, were written with zero intention of them ever being played live. So I think the Good Looking Idiot and Piece of Glass, I wrote them on my acoustic guitar when I was 17. And Nico Zoric.
When you were 17?
Just the lyrics and the guitar. The music, that's all Nico Zoric, Nitpick Production, shout out there. Basically, I was playing my guitar and singing the songs for him, and he was in college at the time. For recording and all that jazz, and he was like, I have to, like, for one of my school projects, I have to do a song, like, can we do that song? It was Good Looking Idiot. And I was like, okay. And he was like, okay, well, what do you like? And I was like, Circa Survive. And he hadn't listened to Circa Survive ever. Like, that was not the kind of music he listened to. And he listened to him a couple of times and was able to write Good Looking Idiot in a way that people are still saying it sounds like Circa Survive, which is awesome. Like, he's got such talent. But that was for the intention of his class project. And then him and I had so much fun writing together. Then we did Piece of Glass and Montauk. The songs are not to be released yet, will be released soon. And Best Interest. Those songs, I wasn't in a band. I didn't have an intention of being in a band. I wrote for like my therapy is writing the songs. Mm-hmm. And then me and Nico just had fun doing it. So the parts are hard, but because they weren't really intended to be played live ever. And then one day I just woke up and was like, I want to play this stuff live. Yeah. And so now they have to deal with like
your challenge.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you were saying, right? Was it Good Looking Idiot? After our first show, you were like, I had never played that live before. Like, we couldn't do that.
Yes, we never played it. No, my other lineups, well, love them all, and they're all very, very talented, but we just couldn't get it down. Yeah. So us together was the first time we were able to do that, which was really, really surreal. That song's old. That is an old song to me.
I think the first time we all practiced, we all kind of like looked at each other and it kind of like clicked. Like, it kind of all felt good.
Yeah. It wasn't overwhelming. at all?
I felt like they were overwhelmed because at the time I worked at a music studio, so I was like, oh, let's come practice at my music studio, and they were all like, oh my god, like it's like full of gear and stuff like
sick.
that, and they were like, this is pretty cool.
So then I gotta ask, so okay, so the new song you're going to be releasing next month. Don't look at me like that, Carlos. Hold on, this is
like a bouncer. His shoulders start going up.
Hold on, let me. There we go. Okay, it's yelling at me. I got 10 minutes left. Okay. Oh, okay. So did you guys already record the song for next month, or are you in process of recording it right now?
It is pretty much finished. We're just
mixing and mastering it.
Mixing and mastering.
Yeah.
So are any of you doing that yourselves, or do you have a place that you send it to?
We're kind of back and forth because I've worked with Nico forever.
So he's the kind of the go-to?
Yeah, but we've also been wanting to try our hand. So Cole is going to give it a shot as well. And we have Nico working on it too, and Cole's working on it. So we're kind of just going to see what happens.
How's that going, Cole?
It's been fun. I mean, it's cool. Like I said, like I have always just like mixed stuff that I have recorded myself.
Yeah.
Because these are recordings that were from before me and Carlos existed, actually. So like it's cool to like take another band's stuff and then, put my ear to it and mix it how I know the other songs sound. Because like the mix of the other songs is actually pretty similar to how I like things to sound, I think, especially for this genre. So it's something that I'm pretty like somewhat used to. But I got a blank file with stems with just the recordings. There's no effects or anything like that on it. So it's just a complete like blank slate sandbox for me to just start going at it and just see if I can make a really killer mix. If we don't go with mine, not the biggest deal in the world, but it's like, it's fun to try at least. So it's, we'll see.
So you're kind of the guy that kind of just throw me in the deep end. I'll get there kind of a thing.
That's kind of what I like. Like I said, like the whole sink or swim thing, like I think is fun. Because it's like not making it work isn't really an answer. Like it's kind of just like it's gonna, like you have to figure it out. Like there's no option here.
So did you actually did it in a studio, or do you guys do it like where email the WAV files and that and Dropbox and that kind of stuff, or do you actually go to an actual studio, sit down, work it out, that kind of thing?
So we actually haven't written together yet. All the stuff that's coming out is like mine and Nico's stuff, or mine and my last lineup stuff. And it was recorded. Good Looking Idiot was recorded in an actual, real, legit studio, and all the other ones were written in or recorded in. It's still a legit studio, but it is like a home studio. Yeah. So Good Looking Idiot's the only one that was,
an actual studio.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's really interesting. Even just nowadays, because you see bands just creating, throwing files, emailing. That's how Aaron and I, my band, the Spacing Effect, that's how we ended up doing our latest release, was almost all through email and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to be able to do that. Like I know, like especially a lot of guys through like the past couple of years with COVID and all of that, like have been writing and recording some crazy stuff just like straight from their bedroom. It's insane, like how like accessible all of that kind of stuff is. Like I think Logic Pro is like $200 or $300. So it's like if you have like any dusty old Mac, it's like you get that Logic, get $100 mic with like what I'm using.
Yep.
And call it a day. Like it's like you can make some really good stuff with not a lot of gear, or really not a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
I did that during COVID. I mean, I met two guys from like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, and for my math rock project, like we recorded like 3-4 songs over the internet, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it's fun to have all like the studio toys and all of that, but it's like at the end of the day now, it's like people are putting out music that was like entirely written and recorded on like the MacBook Air, and like that was it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at Moby. Moby recorded his first album in his bedroom.
Oh, really?
So stuff like that.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. But I love that. And 2020 was honestly some of the best music I heard in a long time. I mean, there were so many. I'm a huge fan of metal and punk, and there was so much great metal and punk that came out that year. And it was just so overwhelming. Like, oh, that's what you did when you were isolated? Dear Lord, isolate more, please.
Right?
Did you like the Spirit Box release?
Spirit Box? Oh, Spirit Box.
Spirit Box.
Sorry. Yes, it's fantastic. I knew it was blown out beyond, it was just blown up like crazy. So I went in with a little bit of like,
skepticism.
Yeah, a little skepticism. I'm like, okay, come on, let's calm down a little bit, people. And I really liked it. It wasn't mind blowing to me, but it was really good. It was very good. But the one that blew me away, honestly, of metal was Brand of Sacrifice. They're deathcore, and I'm not into deathcore. And I heard them, I'm like, I'm into deathcore now.
Yeah.
The noises they make and the timing, and I'm just like, holy crap, this is amazing, the talent. So, but yeah, it's amazing what people can do now, and especially when, the whole home studio thing. And I think they did the same thing where they were a DIY band themselves too, and I think that blew me away just as much from knowing that and hearing that album, going, holy crap, you did that just like this. So
I think it's funny because we all listen to super different things.
It's fun, and it's funny that kind of egg on
like
each
mix
other
it all
and dog
together.
on.
Yeah.
It's definitely cool to kind of like cross influences like that, because it's like you said, like that first time that we kind of all hopped in that studio that you had together, it was like we locked in, but we were like, in what way? Like it was like rhythmically and all that stuff, we were very on time.
Mhm.
But it's like I'm still really interested in waiting to see like when it does come the time, like I don't know, probably talking the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, where we sit down and we're like, all right, new song, no more old stuff, like we have that kind of all in the chamber, good to go, like time to write. We'll see what comes out of the woodwork. It'll be interesting.
Have you written anything, Cole?
Written anything for this band?
Yeah.
So I have some stuff that's sitting around just for ideas for when that time comes.
Yeah.
But no one's here has heard it, so we'll see.
I think we all have a couple ideas here and there.
Yeah. Do you write your own? Did you kind of write some ideas too, Carlos, and then kind of waiting for the right time?
I mean, I try. Also, just like trying to pick up more like synth and stuff, since I play synth also in the band. Like I'm trying to like incorporate that more into like writing and stuff.
Nice. And you too, Ashley. You kind of grab your guitar and got some ideas, and like, okay, I'll show it to the guys when the time's right.
I have a backlog of so many.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's got acoustic tracks that she sends us like every couple of weeks. She's like, "Hey, listen to this one. Like, can we please turn this into a song?"
I love it.
It's like listen to this when we get together. I mean, I'm game, but
Do you guys
anything can happen.
Do you listen to it?
Yes,
Carlos.
Of course I do.
Wow.
You know my busy schedule. I'm sorry.
Oh, your nose is starting to get a little long.
Can't say I remember it, but I do listen to them at the time.
So it wasn't memorable.
Yeah, once we
I mean,
work on it.
It's like spaghetti. If it sticks, it sticks.
Okay, well, whatever.
We'll work on it. It'll be good.
We'll work on it. Yeah. Oh God, I only got 2 minutes left, guys. I'm sorry, and I know your time's just about up with for you, Ashley. So I apologize again. I'm so sorry about the ding dongness of me and that kind of thing. But
yeah, you're good. This has been fun, man.
It's fun, and I would love to go longer. Honestly, I would really like to go longer and on time. so I apologize, but I thank you so much for your time that you did give me and for being patient. And I know it took a little while, but again, thank you for being so friendly and wonderful about getting this whole thing started. So I appreciate that.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
What is your band called?
Well, we're called the Spacing Effect. The Spacing Effect.
Cool.
So we're kind of like a modern grunge alt rock kind of band.
You have stuff out on like streaming services?
Yeah, you can find on anywhere. We're everywhere. I'm the one who does all the social stuff. So
yeah,
that's why I got a hold of Ashley. But I will. I can't thank you enough for joining me, Felix. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. I know it wasn't a lot, but thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, he loves it. He's our #1 fan, best manager in the world.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
He's great. He's so great. He really is.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I have a wonderful night, and again, thank you for your time, and I will definitely keep in contact. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good night, man.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Appreciate that.
Bye.